Hi students, today we're going to do the third lesson in the series of common mistakes that Japanese make when using English. So look at your handout and let's start. First one is maintaining the plural or the singular. For some reason, when Japanese students are describing group activities such as school trips or sports games, they often use the singular pronoun I. As in, I was happy when I won the soccer game, or I visited many temples in Kyoto. If you do something as part of a team or group, it's better to write about what we did than what I did. I was happy when we won the soccer game. Next, the seniors in my club. Seniority is important in Japanese culture. And there are words in the Japanese language that show a person's place in a hierarchy based on his age or the date he became part of the group. Unfortunately, there are no simple words in English to represent these ideas. So Japanese often write about their juniors or seniors in a school or club, for example. But these words are usually used in English to represent students in the third or fourth year of high school or college. Students in the first and second year are called freshmen and sophomores. So in this case, it's usually better to use the words younger or older before a noun such as a younger member of the club, or student, an older student, or employee of the club, etc. Or you can use a phrase to explain the relationship. An employee who started working at the club after I did, an employee who has worked at the company longer than I have, a more experienced manager, and so on. Next is next day or the next day. In American English, we do not say simply next day, we say the next day. Here's a small tip, but it's important. You should capitalize the word internet when you're talking about the internet. Okay? Next is all of the. Japanese sometimes write sentences such as this one. All students like the concert. But all students refers to all of the students in the world, as in all students must study hard if they want to get good grades. So if you want to refer to not all in the world, but all of a specific group, you should use all the or all of the. For example, all of the students, meaning all of the students who attended the concert, like the concert. Next is the first reason is, or the first reason is because. Sorry, the first reason is that, or the first reason is because. Japanese often write the reason is that, or the reasons are that. The reason I like to swim is that it is good exercise. But that is not needed in this situation. It is better to write the sentence without that. For example, the reason I like to swim is it is good exercise. Also, do not write the reason is because, as in, the reason I like to swim is because it is good exercise. Simply write the reason I like to swim is it is good exercise. We do not write because I have 3 reasons. Just say I have 3 reasons. Finally, Japanese students often write a sentence and then start the next sentence with because or it is because. It's usually better to just join the 2 sentences using because. For example, I prefer to study alone. It is because it is quiet in my room. It's better to write, I prefer to study alone because it is quiet in my room. Next is and makes it. Japanese often write sentences like this one: reading books is easy to understand stories. But this is like combining two sentences. Reading books is easy, and it is easy to understand stories into one sentence. It is better to use makes it in place of is. Reading books makes it easy to understand stories. Next is using the words back and done as verbs. For some reason, Japanese often use done and back as simple verbs, as in, I want to done by tomorrow, and I will back on Sunday. These sentences leave out the verb. They should be, I want to be or get done by tomorrow, and I will be or come or get back on Sunday. Next is I recommend you. Japanese often write sentences in this form. I recommended him to try Korean food. But what is being recommended is not him, it is trying Korean food. So the sentence should be written, I recommended to him that he try Korean food. Or I recommended trying Korean food to him. Remember, you recommend that someone do something or doing something to someone. Next is after and in. Japanese often use after to refer to a time period in the future at the end of which something will happen. For example, we will go to Osaka after 5 days. But the correct preposition to use in this context is we will go to, is in. We will go to Osaka in 5 days. Next, best and better. Remember that the ER ending is used when comparing two things, but the EST ending is used when saying one thing is superlative to three or more other things. So if I have to choose between going to school on a bicycle or on foot, I think going by bicycle is best. That's wrong. It should be going by bicycle is better. Next, sing a song or pay money. Japanese often write, I like to sing a song, or I like to sing songs. It's not necessary to write song or songs. Just write, I like to sing, or I like singing. By the way, it's also not necessary to write paint a picture. Just write paint. Nor is it necessary in most cases to say pay money. Just say pay. Next is safe and safety. Japanese often say Japan is a safety country. But safety is a noun. It should be Japan is a safe country. Safe is an adjective. Next, expensive, cheap, or high, low. Japanese often write sentences like, the price of a movie ticket is more expensive than the price of a book. But things, for example, not prices, or example, are cheap or expensive. Prices are high or low. So remember, things are cheap or expensive. So this sentence could be written correctly in two ways. The price of a movie ticket is higher than the price of a book, or movie tickets are more expensive than books. But be careful when using the word cheap, because it can also mean of poor quality. Next is like and such as. Like means that whatever follows is similar to something else. I play card games like poker. Means I play card games that are similar to poker, but I don't necessarily play poker. Such as, on the other hand, means that whatever follows it is an example of what is being discussed. I play card games such as poker, meaning that I play card games and one of them is poker. So if you write, on our school trip to Kyoto, we visited several beautiful temples like Kinkakuji and Ginkakuji. To me, it means that you visited temples that are similar to Kinkakuji and Ginkakuji, but did not necessarily visit those temples. Such as is used when talking about specific persons or things. So if you write, on our school trip to Kyoto, we visited several beautiful temples such as Ginkakuji and Kinkakuji and Ginkakuji. To me, that means you visited several temples in Kyoto. And among the temples you visited there were Kinkakuji and Kinkakuji and Ginkakuji. In this case, you can also use the expression, for example. You can say, we visited several beautiful temples in Kyoto. For example, we visited Kinkakuji and Ginkakuji. Okay, that's all for today. See you next time.